everyone, Saintsfan back again with another GTA 5 video, and today, to continue the conversation we had yesterday about the high value in high risk DLC, I want to talk about a concept for it that I think is really cool. A few days ago I made a video about the Tuners and Outlaws DLC concept. A lot of you guys seem to like that, and I really hope one day in GTA Online we get something along those lines. But in this upcoming DLC, the one Rockstar mentioned on the Newswire, I think we might actually get some features that we've been requesting for quite a while. Now, the DLC concept pictures that you're going to see in this video come from XXII, who you may remember a few months ago he was releasing some cryptic pictures on his YouTube channel, and some people believed it was from GTA 6, some people believed it could be San Fierro and Las Venturas. Ultimately, those pictures were disproven. He's still uploading a bunch of cryptic stuff, but you'll see in the pictures, obviously it's not from GTA 5. I don't know exactly how he's doing it, whether it's in a different game engine, if he's making his own sort of little game from scratch using the GTA 5 assets. However he's doing it, I don't know if anyone really knows, but he did come up with some really cool concepts. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, because a lot of you guys were sort of curious as to how this high value in high risk DLC might work. So I believe it's just going to be another iteration of the CEO Biker VIP system. There'll be a third option where you become whatever they decide to call this new group. And my guess is once you become that, you have to purchase some sort of property where inside there's a laptop or there's a board. It'd be actually kind of cool if there was a board, kind of like how they had in Gone in 60 Seconds, that movie. And on that board, they would have the certain vehicles that you would have to go out and get. But whether it's on a board or on a laptop, I'm willing to bet it's behind some sort of pretty expensive warehouse or chop shop, if they want to call it that. Now, the missions, I would imagine, would work similar to biker missions and CEO missions, where once you, either on that board or on the laptop, pick a car, or the game tells you which car to go out and get, then with your crew, if they are in your lobby, you go out to get those vehicles. And that's where this DLC concept sort of takes place. So the first couple of vehicles, we have the transport options, and this would be a really fun feature that they could add. So once you get this car, once you steal it, to make sure it arrives in pristine condition, because if you drive it, you know, more than likely you're going to run into something, or somebody will run into you, and then it'll damage the car. And I would guess that if it works kind of like how the biker and the CEO stuff, the more damage you take, maybe the less you get. So once you find these vehicles, once you steal them, then you can put them on these transport trucks. And this would be something that maybe you could upgrade in the chop shop or in whatever warehouse or property that you have to buy. And here are a few examples, and you can see, and maybe this is how it would work in this DLC, you start with just a little simple truck that can only carry one vehicle, and then over time you would work your way up if you wanted to purchase one of the other trucks that carries more vehicles. Like you would assume, you would load your vehicles into these trucks, and then you would bring them to the selling point. Along the way, you would have to worry about, you know, griefers and people trying to kill you. But I really do like that idea that someone mentioned a few weeks ago. If this was the case, it'd be nice if maybe one of your other crew members could have the exact same truck, so it's almost like a decoy. So if people are in your lobby, maybe you could have multiple decoys so they don't actually go after you. I just think this makes the most sense if they are basing it off the VIP and CEO system, because this could be the upgrades. I mean, the warehouse or the biker businesses, they have upgrades that you can buy. In the CEO warehouses, the vehicles that you transport the items in, you can upgrade them. So in this high risk and high value DLC, that's what we're going to call it, maybe you upgrade the vehicles that you transport the cars in. And as you saw with the multiple car carriers, some of them are open, and maybe the last one you can get, the most expensive, is the closed one, because maybe it's a little armored or something. Now, as for what vehicles we can see, and some of these concepts are a little crazy, I will admit, but that's kind of what I hope for this DLC. I hope we get some crazy, exotic looking vehicles. I don't know how they could work in terms of racing. One thing that you'll see in a few of these next couple of pictures, he has the exotic class, which I think would be a nice workaround, because you could have some cars that maybe aren't supposed to be used for races, but they're super expensive because they're rare or they're really, really unique. And to have them in their own exotic class would make a lot of sense. But the first picture you can see here, we'll start with the police patrol, and I don't know if we'll get this, but speaking of police, this could be a fun DLC that they could incorporate police into. And like, what I mean, not the NPC police, but other players becoming police. There's been this huge problem with griefers and just random people trying to blow CEO missions and biker people up. But if they gave them a reason to do so, I think that would be a lot better. At least make it a little fun so it's not just a Hydra shooting at you every single time. And if they did that, then in your interaction menu, you could apply to become a police officer, and you would have to stop these trucks transporting these illegal cars. And since you are a cop, I think a rule should be put in place if this was the case, where you can't blow the people up or kill them. You'd have to take them down with non-lethal force. Now, some of the actual cars, and this is where it gets a little crazy. So this first one is the Annis LG RH8S. This one's in the sports class, and you can see it has similarities to the LG. Maybe it would just be the Benny's version of the LG, which I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying, would be a great addition. Because the LG is a car that is good, but compared to some of the newer cars, it doesn't get as much love, I feel, so having a little upgrade to it would be nice. Next one is the Debauchee Sunrise. This one's a little crazier, but again, it's sort of like exotic looking. It's really unique, so having something like that would be perfect. Next one is the Karen Kruma GTX, which I believe is the Evo X in real life, and that's a car that could rival the Sultan RS in terms of customization, so I would absolutely love that one. Here we have one, the Dinka ZR350 Pro. Kind of reminds you of the X80 a little bit, but since we all know Rockstar love to make vehicles ridiculously overpriced with some of these exotic cars, maybe they could charge $3 million plus. And yeah, I say that, right? And I would hate that because that's a lot of money. And honestly, I don't think they should ever charge over $3 million for a car. They shouldn't even charge $2 million for a car. But if they were going to do it, at least make the car worth it. Make it super rare or super exotic or super unique. Have a ton of customization. And I think people would hate it less. Next one is the Coil Voltic Ranger, a little bit different variation of the Coil Voltic. Looks like it's got some pretty decent customization there. Then we have the Declasse Merit Custom, so sort of like a tuner vehicle. And that's how they could somewhat tie in that tuner's concept that we talked about last week. Now here are the two exotic cars. So this first one is the BF Injection Monster Exotic, and it's kind of like a rat rod style car, and they've done that with a few of the vehicles. I mean, we were getting one, the Tornado, coming out this Halloween, or at least soon. I don't know if it's going to be coming out tomorrow with the Halloween items, but it will be coming out over the next few weeks, and this is kind of a similar vehicle. The only downside to this one is that since we do have similar vehicles to this already in the game, I don't know what would make this exotic over just being in the regular, whatever, muscle or whatever category it's in. I like the look of it, though. I mean, that looks really awesome. One thing I'm just thinking of now, maybe what they could do is take all the vehicles that are not really useful in races. You know, I guess this one, if this was the case, the Roosevelt, the Roosevelt Valor, the Halloween vehicles, and then maybe they could throw those into this exotic class. I don't know what that exotic class could do. Like I said earlier, if there was just a bunch of different random vehicles in it, you couldn't use it for racing. But maybe if they ever implemented some sort of a car show feature, you could bring exotic cars to that. I don't know. And then the next one is the Monroe Arton RS. So kind of just a different version of the Monroe. But this one looks really awesome. The green and the yellow. I love the outline. I mean, the outline on the Dukes is probably one of my favorite secondary options on any of the vehicles. So I'll always welcome other vehicles that do something similar. But again, kind of with the BF Injection Monster, I'm not entirely sure what would classify this as exotic versus the regular Monroe. If you guys have any ideas on that exotic class concept, then let me know in the comment section. And then the last two are my favorites. So here we have the Albany Delta T800. And this one just looks crazy. I don't think we could keep this if this was a real vehicle because it's got the machine gun. And you can't have armored vehicles in your garage. But I think this is a nice trade-off because you got that, maybe that you can control since you're the only one there, since you're the driver. It's a one-seater, but you're kind of open, so it's not like you're armored in it. I think that'd be a little fun vehicle. And then the last one, the Pipster Neptune 01. Kind of reminds you of the Tyrus and the RE7B a little bit, which in terms of performance, it could be up there with those. But this is just another example of the exotic cars that I would like to see in the DLC. Anyway, I think that's it with the concept. Let me know in the comments what you all think about it. What is your little wish list for this next DLC that Rockstar mentioned on the Newswire? Are you like me? Do you want to see some exotic vehicles, or would you just like to see the vehicles in the game with maybe a little bit more customization? Anyway, thank you all for watching. Drop a like. I'm going to have a few more videos coming out later today, so see you all then. As always, it's your boy Saintsfan. I'm out. Peace.